Welcome back, adventurers. Welcome back. Thank you for joining in. I really do appreciate y'all joining in on this little trip as I am returning back home from Mother's. I had to ride out. Oh, deer antler. I had to ride out to Mom's because we have freezing weather coming to Georgia. And she's not panicked. She's not worried about it because they have all the necessities they need to last a couple days if they have to. And I had to come over and fire up their generator just to make sure that it would start for them easier than, I guess, a cold start, because it hasn't ran since Hurricane Helene, whatever her damn name was, came through. And they just wanted to make sure it would start for them easily. So I had to ride over to Mom's house to crank up the generator, let it run for like 10-15 minutes, and then we shut it back off and put it back where it belongs. Oh. Which gives me a great opportunity to get out here and ride and record some content for you guys and gals, you folks and creatures. That folks and creatures thing has been something I've been saying in the live stream or premiere chats and stuff like that. I've been saying it, and I think it's growing on me because I think it's a fair description of the environment and the people who dwell inside the Shade Tree Army, the enlistees. Oh, shit. Why did I not remember that this road was closed? Bum. Okay. This happened the other day when I was driving the Armada. It is not a problem. Just a change in direction is all, folks. Just a change in direction. Oh. Now, speaking of changing directions, let me get to the topic at hand, and that is spontaneous combustion. Now, if you don't know what spontaneous combustion is, it is basically, and without reading from Webster's dictionary itself, it is when something sporadically, spontaneously, instantly, for no given reason, bursts into flames. Now, apparently this is a real thing. This actually occurs in the wild. There are bushes that spontaneously combust. I don't remember the name of the plant that does that, but there's a plant that does that. It spontaneously catches on fire. And there's a couple other things that do it. And now, spontaneous combustion was a deep-seated fear in one of my sisters growing up, to the point where she had to explain to me why spontaneous combustion was a fear of hers and why I too should also fear spontaneously combusting. Now, I don't fear it. I don't worry about it because it doesn't happen enough for me to think it's something to worry about. It's not like the rain. It rains enough for me to worry about when I'm out riding. Am I going to be riding in the rain? It happens. I want to be prepared for it. But I have never heard of anyone or anything I know of spontaneously combusting. Now, I have heard stories, and one of the stories I remember, it was actually covered in two shows, actually, that Brainy Chameleon was watching. Oh, that sun. I hate the sun. I don't hate the sun. I just hate it when it's looking right at me and I'm trying to go in this direction. Oh. It was an elderly woman who, of course, this was in the winter. She fell asleep in her chair, wrapped up in a wool blanket, and they think that a ember from a cigarette or something like that caused the initial combustion. And then she basically cooks within, right? She cooks in that wrapping of wool blanket. Now, I've heard different stories where there was nothing left in the blankets but ash. You know, the bone was so burnt that not even a crematorium could have reached temperatures this high. It's things in the room caught on fire or were melted from the heat, but nothing was burnt, right? And I'm thinking about all this, and what I know about fire and heat exchange, and that just seems very far-fetched for something in the house to generate that level of heat without reaching the combustion temperature of anything else in the house, in the vicinity. If she had newspaper next to her and her body was in well over 1400 degrees, I actually think the crematorium reaches around 2000 degrees. I can't really remember, but it's hot as hell and it turns you to ash. I don't see how that level of heat could be present in a room and not make something else combust. I don't see it. I don't see how it's possible. But science is very weird. Science does things that we can't explain, that science can't explain, right? Things that outside of no other situation make any sense at all. And I mean, look at the duck-billed platypus. Tell me how on any plane on this planet other than where that damn platypus comes from does a platypus make sense? Is there anything else that's like a platypus? Not really. A platypus doesn't really make sense. But just because it doesn't make sense doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Like the platypus. Platypus exists. And just like the cryptids of old T-Bone, they may exist. Just because you can't prove they don't, or you can't prove they don't do, there's no evidence to say they do or do not exist. That's what I'm trying to say. Absence of evidence isn't in itself evidence, but I don't know. If you give light to one, you have to give light to another. So, I don't know. Is it possible? Might be. That's for you guys to decide on your own. I'm no scientist. I don't have any of the evidence from those spontaneous combustion stories. I'm just sharing the tale, ladies and gentlemen, sharing the tale, giving you something to ponder on and think about while I am riding around on this here motor scooter, while I'm taking up 5 minutes of your time. Alright, now I'm going to end this one here, but you can't escape yet because I've still got to tell you about the Forgotten Angels. That's David and Cindy down in Valrico, Florida, or Tampa proper, for those who want to refer to it as Tampa. What they do is they take these young men and women who have aged up through the foster care system, they bring them into the foundation and they give them a shot at a life. They give them the tools and the education they need to be successful, happy adults, to contribute to society in their own way. That's what David and Cindy do. They give these young men and women the tools to do that, to be happy. And guys, gals, if I didn't say anything else about Forgotten Angels, the fact that they take their time, effort, energy, and resources, God at the resources, they have to go through on a regular basis. Here's regular basis again. To help these young men and women, it's beyond my words. It is beyond my words. I can't say it enough. I can't talk about it enough. I can't describe it well enough. I don't have the words in my dictionary to say what truly needs to be said about David and Cindy and what they do down at Forgotten Angels. Let me push you guys up a little more. So, being that my words aren't enough, I say unto you, come see us. Come visit with us on March 13th through the 16th in Valrico, Florida. Tampa proper for those who need it. Come hang out with us. Come spend some time and see what David and Cindy actually do, what they're actually about, and the lives they change. Not in just the young men and women, but us adults. They have changed our lives in so many ways as well. And while you're at it, if you will, look up Possum Southern Rescue. Are you doing it now? Well, I hope you are, because what Possum Southern Rescue, more English. Y'all need to talk to Desert Outlaw about English. I'm not good at it. But what Possum Southern Rescue does, they foster out and adopt out young pups, old pups, pups in need, pups that need a forever home and are seeking forever happiness. They give these pups a shot at finding a home. They give them love, care, and support until they find that forever home. That forever happiness, guys. So if you can, reach out to Possum Southern Rescue. See if there's anything you can do to help them out. Donate, foster, adopt, whatever it is you can do. Buy a bag of dog food. Buy the dogs a bone, guys. Buy the dogs a bone. But that's all I got for you guys. I made my spill. I'm going to get out from around this here F-150, but I don't want y'all to be here when I do it. So I'll see y'all later.